I wanted to be a children's social worker when I sat down with my mum, if I'm honest. It was my mum who kind of put me on the course, and we sat down and we were looking at careers. When I was leaving college, what did I want to do? What was something that I would be particularly good at? And so she pointed me in the direction of looking at the prospectus for a social worker, and I suppose all the attributes were something that I think fit with my character. So about helping people, wanting to help with social inequality, and so on. So my mum really kind of pointed me in that direction, and it seemed as though it would fit with me as a person. I became a social worker in 2009. I graduated from Hull University, and so I've worked for the local authority ever since. I initially became a family support practitioner at first. I was quite young when I graduated. I was 21 years of age, or almost. So I just wanted to get my foot in the door really, and then I quickly started to build my confidence, and I became a social worker. I got a social work job, and then I gradually progressed up the career into a team manager post, which I'm currently in now. I have a passion for people's learning and their development. So when I see staff overcome hurdles that they might have had issues with, so if there's something that they struggled with and then the next time they get it, then that's huge for me. I think that's something I'm quite passionate about, is watching people learn and see their continuum of learning, if you like, throughout the career. The other thing, and the most important thing, I suppose, is when we're working with families and we have a breakthrough. So there are hard-to-reach families that we support who may slam the door in our faces a number of times, not want to engage with us, not cooperate with us. But it's when we get the breakthrough, when they finally start to listen, or when they finally start to want to work with us, they're the most rewarding things for me, I think, as a manager, when we finally have a good working relationship with someone in order to make that child's life better. But I really value when you see positive change in people. I've recently rang a lot of the families that we work with to gain feedback about particular members of staff, and the feedback that we've had is amazing. And when we've heard that the social workers really helped a family close a case and that they don't need us involved anymore, because that's evident that they've made positive changes. That's the biggest reward, I would say. I think the hardest thing about social work is perhaps the perceptions of what the job is. We talk quite regularly in the team about people's perceptions of social work, how we can improve them, and I think a lot of them are negatively portrayed by the media. I think that's where people get a lot of their understanding about what social work is. And I think that is going to be a task that we always face, an issue that we always face, really. I think that is the issue when we go out and perhaps there's been something on the TV, we're trying to talk to a family and they're telling us about things they've read in the media or they've seen on the TV, and that's the difficulty, I think, when people are listening to the one side, I think, if you like, when perhaps it's not the full picture. Social work for me is about going out and trying to keep families together, and I think perhaps people think that we want to remove children, or that we get bonuses for removing children, which is just not true, and I'm not sure where that comes from. But the reality is, and it's certainly my intention in all of throughout my career, is that we keep children with the families wherever that's possible, whether that be main carers, parents, or extended family members or friends. The aim, and that's the best interest of the child, to keep them with the family members. And there are occasions, unfortunately, when children can't stay with the families or the friends, and then obviously we have to look at alternative options to keep a child safe. But the reality is that's the first, the first thing that we want to do. Our priority is to keep a child safe and happy, and that's what the aim of the job is. There's many benefits to working for a local authority. First and foremost, that probably is the consistency and that support from your colleagues, being within a team, getting to know one another, knowing each other's strengths, and knowing each other's areas of development perhaps, and I think supporting each other throughout that. But also, I suppose, for the children and the families that we work with, it's having the consistency with them and the commitment to support them within whatever journey that they've got. I mean, I do genuinely think my team are amazing. We pull together in times of need. We're always there to support one another. If somebody's having difficulties, we'll kind of all sit down together and have a bit of peer coaching, peer support, and explore what those issues might be. And we're always there to sometimes just have a joke and a laugh. And I think we need that humour within our team in order to continue to deal with some of the difficulties and the challenges that we face within social work, but it's a very supportive team, I think. Working in a busy safeguarding team has its demands on people, and there have been occasions when social workers have left the local authority to work elsewhere. For many of the social workers who have then subsequently returned to work for the local authority, I've often found that they have then found it more rewarding thereafter because they've been able to go away and reflect on their practice previously and then return back to work with a much more positive outlook and develop on those areas and skills that they previously might have struggled with. As social workers, we're highly trained professionals. We have to take responsibility for continuing our learning throughout, from the day we qualify and onwards throughout our career, really. Something that I always think about as well is that not everybody will have involvement from social workers throughout their lives, and people always rely on the police, the fire brigade, but we are kind of an emergency service and kind of highly trained professionals. Children's social work matters because I've seen it make so much positive change in many children's lives. And I think without that, I think children would be at a disadvantage really without children's social workers going out and supporting them and helping them and their families live better lives.